Good evening. Welcome to Dispatch, the weekly show designed to keep you on track as you build and operate your layout. I'm Roy Smith, your dispatcher. I want to welcome those of you who are here in the studio audience tonight. There will be coffee and donuts after the show, and I'd like to welcome all of you out there in cyberspace. Thank you for letting me share the amazing hobby of model railroading with you. Now, coming up on tonight's show, we have your layout photos, the question of the week, your comments, and a big shout out. And Justin Case will be joining us for his commentary tonight. I understand he's going to be sharing with us the 6 biggest secrets of railroading and model railroading. I'm sure it will be hard to believe anything he says. Well, we've got a great show lined up for you tonight, so don't go away. We'll be right back. On this channel, we share the world's greatest hobby with you in Dispatch every Tuesday night and layout updates every Saturday morning right here. Don't miss out. Be sure to subscribe. Okay, first up on tonight's show, your layout photos. Each week, I invite you to post photos of your layout in a Facebook group called the N-Scale Union Pacific Evanston Subdivision Group. And each week, many of you do just that. Then I bring your photos over here to Dispatch to share with everyone during the show. So tonight, I have a bunch of layout photos to share with you, and here they are. Okay, when Dispatch ends tonight, be sure to go over to the Facebook group, join the group, and post a photo of your layout there because we want to see what you're doing on your layout. It doesn't matter what scale you model in. And you're welcome to post photos of the model railroad club you belong to. I will put a link down below in the description to this video that will take you to the Facebook group. When you see this photo of Echo Canyon on my layout, you will know you're at the right place. Now, next up on tonight's show, the question of the week. Our question for this week is, what is your favorite kind of operation to do on your layout? Is it industrial switching, yard classification, interchange operations, something else, or perhaps no operations at all on your layout? Here's how you responded to this question. There was no clear-cut winner in this survey, and that's okay because you can do whatever you want to do on your layout. As always, it's a matter of personal preference. For now, many of you are content just to watch your trains run. Quite a few of you said that you're still building your layout and that you may do formal operations later on. And, not surprisingly, a lot of you like to do industrial switching. We model railroaders love to build our layouts, but once we finish building our layouts, then what do? Well, technically, a layout is never finished. There are always changes that we can make and details that we can add. But what else do we do then? Well, as I said before, some of us are content just to run trains on our layouts indefinitely. And some of us tear our layouts down when we finish them and then start to rebuild them. But at some point, many of us decide that we want to operate our trains just like real trains. This means doing things like industrial switching, yard classification, and interchange operations. And this, in turn, can mean setting up things associated with operations, such as car cards and waybills, switch lists, timetables, those sorts of things. But I think it's important to note, and perhaps it's obvious, that a good time to start thinking about operations isn't when we have finished building our layouts. Rather, a good time to begin thinking about operations is during the earliest stages of planning our layouts before we even begin to build them. Me, I prefer yard classification. I like to make up trains and head them off to various destinations. Well, I'd like to thank all of you for your responses to this week's question. As always, I hope the question has given you something to think about. And now, here's the question for the coming week. What kind of locomotives do you prefer to run on your layout? Steam, diesel, or both? I encourage you to respond to this question in the comments section down below. And then I will share your responses in dispatch next week. Be sure to watch next week's show to see how everyone responds to this question. Remember, the question for the coming week is, what kind of locomotives do you prefer to run on your layout? Steam, diesel, or both? And now it's time for your comments. This past Saturday, I uploaded a video called Evanston Renovation 1. In this video, I stated that the most neglected area on my layout is at Evanston, Wyoming, and that in fact I haven't done anything on this part of my layout in more than 2 years. I said that I now wanted to get to work on a much-needed renovation of this area, and I told you what I planned to do. Let's take a look at a clip from the video. I hope to begin by making a minor realignment in the arrangement of yard tracks, which I will describe in next week's layout update, because I've never really been happy with the current arrangement of track. Just to clarify things, this copy of my track plan shows where Evanston is located on the layout. There are 2 fictitious manufacturing industries, a track that I referred to as an interchange track, which I will explain later on, and tracks for the UTC, or Union Tank Car Company. My dissatisfaction with the existing track arrangement has been holding me up, but I can't seem to improve on it, given the space limitations, aside from some minor realignments in the track. In any case, I do plan to begin by making a slight realignment in the yard tracks, which I will show you next week. And along with that, I will need to install drop feeders on each of the yard tracks. Then I want to do this area over here at Granger Junction. I'm putting a bridge here to help hide the hole in the backdrop through which trains pass en route to Pocatello and beyond. I've got to build up the terrain here, and I've got to figure out how to make the left end of the bridge disappear into the photo backdrop behind the roundhouse. The other thing holding me up on this section of the layout has been the structures, and in upcoming episodes I will do something about those structures. A whole bunch of you posted comments in response to the video. Here's what a few of you had to say. Dean Danielson wrote, "Hi Roy, a very interesting discussion and description of Evanston. I imagine with your modern era layout you will not be adding the roundhouse. I look forward to your future steps in Evanston." Thanks, Dean. It's a pleasure to share the rehabilitation of the Evanston area on my layout with you. Actually, I do plan to include the roundhouse in the scene because it's still there, although, of course, no longer used by the Union Pacific. In fact, the UP turned it and the rest of the railroad complex over to the city of Evanston in 1971, and the city is renovating it for community events just as I am renovating it on my layout. Sadly, for lack of space on my layout, the roundhouse and the rest of the railroad complex will appear to be little more than shallow 3D structures in the background of my layout. Tom of Overland Transportation System wrote, "I'll be interested to see what you come up with for a new track arrangement. Glad I clicked the bell some time ago to be able to follow along." Well, thanks for following along, Tom. I've been working on a reconfiguration of the track at Evanston Yard for several days now in preparation for Saturday's layout update. I do wish I could make some really major changes in the track arrangement. For example, I wish I could include an arrival-departure track and an adequate yard lead. But the limited space doesn't allow me to make significant operational changes. Well, I'm still working on it, and we'll see what I can come up with in this coming Saturday's layout update. Tom Barnes wrote, "Evanston got pushed to the back burner so that you could concentrate on getting other work done." That's very true, Tom. There has been a whole series of other projects demanding my attention on the layout. But Evanston has always been there waiting for me to do something about it. And finally, I am going to do something about it. And Chris Perry wrote, "Roy, well, here we go. This is going to be a lot of fun. I, for one, can't wait to see what you have planned." Yes, indeed, Chris. We're going to have tons of fun rehabilitating Evanston in the weeks ahead. Let's see what we can do on this part of my layout. I want to thank all of you who commented on the video. I want you to know that I read all of your comments and I really appreciate them, even if I don't always get around to responding to all of them. Your comments are a great way to share the hobby, and sharing the hobby is the best part of model railroading. Now, if you still haven't seen Evanston Renovation 1, I will put a link to it down below that will take you directly to it. I invite you to watch it after dispatch ends tonight. I also invite you to watch for the upcoming series of episodes on Saturday mornings about the Evanston renovation. And now it's time for tonight's big shout out. And tonight's big shout out goes to Matthew Jones and his Milwaukee Road N-Scale Charleston Division. Matt is making rapid progress on a massive expansion of his existing layout. The new expansion extends all the way around Matt's really big train room. Eventually, the expansion will feature 2 long peninsulas in the center and 3 levels connected by a helix. The existing layout and the new extension both feature a lot of industries for switching. I like Matt's layout a lot, and I'm sure you will too. So let's go over and take a look at it right now.
Hey everyone, it's Matt. Just want to give you a little bit of an update of what I've been up to. So here we go. Okay, so everyone remembers the yard that I have here and how I extended it. And then coming along, you guys have seen this before. And then right here I've got just 3 little industries. And then coming along here, and again, this is all going to be forested in here to just kind of try to break up what I've got. And then again, forest from here over to here. This line goes to the helix. So since this is the upper loop right here, you can see how I've got this set. So these right here, oops, sorry about that. These right here are the tracks right here. One thing I did was I reversed that to go right over here, and that's what that is right there. And then with this, you can see that's the line that comes off and goes into the helix right there. So that is that line right there. That line continues. These two will go off onto the first peninsula, come back around, and connect up right here. And so from here, you know, this is actually the cross that I have right there, the crossing. And so this will go back to either a reverse to go back or continue. And that one will continue on that way. This one will go out like this. And then the back line right there goes into all my grain elevators right there. So the way that this is set up, I've got a passing siding that goes all the way down. And then this goes into a small little yard right here for, you know, storage of the cars, for switching out all the industries here. Now all the brackets that you see on the top are for the upper level. So the upper level will be all up here, and that's going to be this side against this wall is going to be all mountain running. So no industry, just a very long, you know, 2 tracks of mountain run. So that's all I've got so far. I hope you guys like it.
Okay, you've had a chance to see a bit of Matt's layout right here on Dispatch. Be sure to go over to his channel to see the rest of it. If you haven't subscribed to his channel yet, you certainly should. And tell Matt that Roy Smith sent you. Don't miss the chance to follow along as Matt continues to work on his layout. I will put a link down below that will take you to his channel. And Matt, if you're out there somewhere watching this, I just want to say that you've got an awesome layout. I can't believe just how rapidly you are building the expansion. I, for one, will be watching your continued progress, and I hope that everyone else comes along on the adventure too. Thank you for sharing your layout with us, Matt. Now, as promised, Mr. Justin Case is with us once again tonight. Justin, thank you for being here tonight.
A pleasure to be here.
Justin, is that a Penn State shirt I see you wearing under your reflective vest?
It is indeed. Take a look at it.
Wonderful. You know I'm from Pennsylvania myself originally. I graduated from Penn State in 1970.
Well, I never went to college, but I sure do love the football.
Me too, Justin. Now tell us, what have you brought to share with us tonight?
I brought these 6 top secrets about railroading and model railroading.
Really? 6 big top secrets about railroading and model railroading? That sounds fascinating. Well, please share the top secrets with us.
Okay, here we go. Number 1, the first top secret, Arduinos. How many people know what an Arduino is? Not many, I'll bet, because Arduinos are top secret. Well, I did some investigation, and you know what I found out? I found out them Arduinos are some kind of electronic platform that can read inputs. There. You still don't know what an Arduino is, do you? Well, neither do I, because they're top secret. Okay, number 2, trucks. Have you ever wondered what a truck is? Well, I looked this one up too, and what I found out is this. A truck is some kind of frame with axles and wheels under railroad cars. Now, do you understand what a truck is? No? Well, me neither, because it's another one of them railroad secrets. Besides, everyone knows this is a real truck, and just ask any of your truck driving friends. Okay, number 3. Highball. You know what a highball is? Well, maybe you thought this was a highball, some kind of signal that tells train crews to operate at full speed. And now, do you know what a highball is? No, well, me neither, because it's still top secret. Besides, everybody with a lick of sense knows this is a highball. Now, don't you go drinking none of these highballs and driving your trains at the same time, because everybody knows you shouldn't drink and drive at the same time. Everybody knows that. That ain't one of them top secrets. All right, number 4, foamers. Have you ever wondered what a foamer is? Well, me too, so I looked it up. A foamer is somebody who foams at the mouth when they see a train going by. You can tell who they are because they're always wearing their railroad caps. Well, don't you believe none of that, because they could be wearing them caps like some kind of disguise. And maybe they're just pretending to be foamers. Well, maybe they're Russian spies on some kind of top secret mission, trying to steal American railroad secrets. Now look here. Take a look at these 2 guys. These 2 guys are real foamers. You can see they're not wearing them railroad caps for disguises. Well, one of them is wearing a Union Pacific hat, but he don't got no lick of sense. These 2 guys go around pretending to be model railroaders, but they're just a couple of agitators in the model railroad community. The 2 of them were last spotted together at Steamtown in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Be on the lookout for them. They're real foamers, I tell you. Okay, one more top secret. The last one, number 5. Area 51. Area 51 is out there in Nevada somewhere. You know that, their top secret military base. You ever wonder what they're doing out there in Area 51? They want you to believe they got a bunch of hush-hush investigations into newfangled kinds of military aircraft. And they even want you to believe there's a whole bunch of them, their little gray aliens running all over the place out there. Well, don't you believe none of that crap, because it ain't true. They don't want you to know what they're really up to out there. But I done some investigating, and I'm going to tell you what they're up to. They're out there trying to discover a new way to run your model trains. They're looking for replacing DCC. That's what they're doing. They got these underground tunnels out there that stretch for hundreds of miles all the way from Utah to California. And they got them tunnels full of model railroad layouts. That's what those geniuses out there do all day and all night. They run trains. And they're looking to replace DCC. Now that ain't no secret no more, because I just told you what they're up to out there at Area 51. Wow, Justin, that is truly amazing. Just a minute, you said you were going to share 6 top secrets, but you've only shared 5. Daggone it, you're right. I must have dropped number 6 here on the floor somewhere. Well, don't worry about it. You can share number 6 with us next time. I sure am glad you joined us tonight to reveal 5 of the biggest top secrets about railroading and model railroading. I feel much better now, and hopefully the audience does too. Thank you so much. A pleasure. And you didn't even have to go to Penn State to learn this stuff now, did you? No, I guess not. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Justin Case, what a guy. Justin, do come back real soon.
Well, that just about concludes tonight's show, but before you go, I want to remind you to come back here every Tuesday night for Dispatch, which you are watching right now, and every Saturday morning for my layout updates. Be watching for Evanston Renovation Part 2 coming this Saturday morning, right here on this channel. I encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it yet, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. Oh, and don't forget to respond to the question for the coming week in the comments down below. All right, a great big thank you to all of you who joined me tonight here in the studio audience. Remember, there's a coffee and donuts after the show in the social area downstairs. And a great big thank you to all of you out there somewhere on YouTube. Thank you for letting me hang out with you tonight. Sharing the hobby with you really is the best part of model railroading. Until next time then, happy railroading. I'm Roy Smith, and I will see you again very soon.